Thank you for watching The Weekend at 1. Now, at least 11 people have been killed this morning after gunmen using a vehicle packed with explosive blasted their way into a hotel in the Somalian capital, Mogadishu. Eyewitnesses say 2 bombs ripped through the Sahafi Hotel, which is frequented by government officials and lawmakers. Al-Shabaab has claimed responsibility for the attack. African Union troops and government forces which battled the Al-Shabaab gunmen say they have regained control of the hotel after a fierce 3-hour gun battle.
The sound of gunfire rent the air as survivors ran for dear life. Eyewitnesses say gunmen using a vehicle packed with explosives rammed the entrance to the Sahafi Hotel before 2 bombs ripped through the hotel where government officials and Somali members of parliament stay, and which is located near a busy area of Mogadishu known as K4. African Union troops and government forces battled the Al-Shabaab gunmen for at least 3 hours before regaining control of the hotel. 11 people were killed and several others were injured. Among those killed was the owner of the hotel, a lawmaker, a former military commander, and a radio journalist. Security officials say the death toll could rise. Al-Shabaab, which has frequently launched attacks in Mogadishu in its bid to topple the Western-backed government, has claimed responsibility for the attack. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
Let's now get further details from Mohammed Kahir, a journalist based in Mogadishu. Good afternoon, Mohammed. You're covering the latest incident. What has happened since the incident happened in the morning?
Thank you so much, Najma Ismail. And what really happened was that which happened at the dawn at 5 a.m. Mogadishu time. 2 car bomb explosions targeted at Sahafi Hotel, which is popular with government officials and also senior international organization staff. After that, armed with Al-Shabaab, which actually they used the 2 car bomb explosions to went through to the hotel. Then fighters, about 10 of them, went inside the hotel, take it over before the government troops supported by AMISOM repelled them, and after 3 hours of operation, the Ministry of Information right now has just officially confirmed that the operation is over. But the number of casualties right now stand at 15, including 1 member of parliament, former member of parliament, a journalist who was working with Al Jazeera, and also a senior Somali military officer who was significant in the fight against Al-Shabaab that has pushed the fighters from the capital Mogadishu 3 years ago.
Ahmed, I believe that particular hotel is located near the CID headquarters. What happened? Was there any intelligence information?
Well, what really happened was most of the attacks that happened, there is some type of intelligence, but what really happened, they come at surprise. And the area which the hotel is located is close to the airport, and actually opposite the Somali Criminal Investigation headquarters. But the group, their mentality was according to the plan and what we have seen to attack this hotel. Such incidents have happened before. After 2 months ago, they attacked another hotel, which, as you know, that the Kenyan ambassador, the new Kenyan ambassador to Somalia, was among people who survived the attack, and 2 also Chinese diplomats have also lost their lives there. So this incident of attacking hotels, popular with government officials and also senior international staff, is not new. It has been happening, but the time range, the time the attack is changing. In the Ramadan, it was very, daily basis. But right now, after 2 months of absence, it has happened again. So it's like the security apparatus in these countries, most of the people right now are blaming the government on not doing enough to ensure the security of the government officials, the civilians, and also the visitors who are the international community.
Mohammed, before I let you go, has anyone in the authority said anything about these attacks?
Well, yes, apart from the Al-Shabaab side, which have claimed the responsibility, they have claimed the responsibility while the attack was going on. They said, as usual, this is an attack to carry on to topple what they describe as Western-backed government, which they mean the Somali government, which is supported by the international community. And also, the government also has spoken out, Minister of Information, after confirming that the operation is over. They say that this will not make them bow down to the armed group. They will continue the operation, and also security measures will be put in place. The Ministry of Interior earlier, after several hotel attacks, they have put some measures in place where the whole hotels are being registered, renewed, and also visitors and other movements to do with security have been, put new measures onto the ground.
Thank you very much. Mohammed Kahir there, a journalist based in Somalia, giving us details of the morning Al-Shabaab attack. He tells us that the casualty now stands at 15. Moving away from that, Russian and Egyptian investigators are working to establish the cause of the crash of a Russian airliner in the Sinai Peninsula that killed all 224 people on board, including 17 children. The plane crashed at 23 minutes into its flight from Sharm el-Sheikh to St. Petersburg on Saturday. Most of those on board were Russian tourists, as several radical Islamist groups have called for attacks on Russian targets since it began airstrikes on ISIS forces in Syria in late September. But experts are skeptical that militants had weapons which could reach the plane. Two airlines, Lufthansa and Air France KLM, say they will be avoiding the Sinai route as a precaution until the cause of the crash becomes clear. Now, relatives gathered throughout Saturday at St. Petersburg airport, where the flight had been due to land. Now, Ethiopia is experiencing its worst drought in 30 years, according to the United Nations. Take a look.
Levels of acute need across all humanitarian sectors have already exceeded levels seen in the Horn of Africa drought of 2011, and which are projected to become far more severe in 2016. A recent report published by the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs noted that the impact of the failed spring rains was compounded by the arrival of the El Niño weather conditions. The UN is further highlighting that its humanitarian team in Ethiopia and the government have held series of briefings with donor parties to raise the alarm on the ongoing El Niño caused drought emergency. Sweden, Norway, Canada, Switzerland, Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and the United States are expected to step in with contributions in response to the emergency. During the 2002 El Nino year, much of the required food aid was reportedly not delivered until late February 2003, leading to a doubling of moderate and severe acute malnutrition rates, which is 3 times more expensive than prevention. Ellen Wanjiru, KTN News.
Now, it is 6 days since the election of Dr. John Pombe Magufuli as Tanzania's 5th president. And while international election observers build the election as free and fair, Tanzanian observers are still crying foul.
Watu au vyombo vilivyo juu ya sheria na kufuata taratibu za kutambulika kama mwangalizi kisheria haina maana katika mchakato wa chaguzi nchini, kama waangalizi na vifaa vyao vinaweza kukamatwa na wakazuiwa kukamilisha zoezi la uangalizi, na kwamba mamlaka yoyote kwa wakati wote inavyojisikia inaweza kusimamisha zoezi la uangalizi ili hali liko katika taratibu za kisheria.
President William Ruto is calling for unity and tolerance in Kenya. Ruto is asking the opposition to help the government in achieving its objective. He spoke at St. Andrew's Church in Malindi, Kilifi County.
Hakuna Kenya ya wapinzani, hakuna Kenya ya serikali. Kenya hii ni ya Wakenya wote kwa usawa. Kwa hivyo vile tunawakataa wale wanaoharibu mali ya wananchi na wezi na wafisadi. Pia tunawakataa wale wanatumia uongo na propaganda na mambo ambayo hayana msingi yeyote kuhujumu uchumi na maisha ya taifa letu la Kenya.
Mitumba is a Swahili name for the trade with second-hand clothing. This is big business. In Nairobi alone, more than 100,000 tons are traded per year. Even foreigners look for a snip of the big market. Take a look.
What looks like a big flea market is in fact big business. The global second-hand clothing trade has a volume of more than $200 billion annually, and Kenya alone imports 100,000 tons of used clothes each year. The biggest market for these clothes is in Nairobi in Toy Market, located at the heart of Kibera slums. Peter Mulwa has been a trader here for the last 10 years. He has specialized in belts and is just about to check his pick of today, for which he paid about 15,000 Kenya shillings at a wholesaler downtown. This bail may loosen or tighten his life because you never know what exactly you get and whether some valuable goods are to be found.
We spend 50 shillings to transport the bale from Gikomba market to Toy market. Here we struggle to make a profit since we don't have regular customers. We only depend on passers-by. When I open the bale, I sort out the belts so that I know which I can sell. I then get rid of the broken ones and sell the rest.
The imports have created job opportunities for many, like Isaac Mutiota, whose business is jeans of all types and brands. Which are in high demand because they are always fashionable and valued by customers of all sexes and ages.
I have decided to sell jeans because there are no jobs in Kenya. So I decided to try out second-hand clothes. That's why I started it. I completed my O-levels but didn't get a job. So getting an occupation was a challenge. The reason I sell jeans is because they do not fade, not like other clothes.
But it's not just the traders who benefit from the second-hand business. Numerous people created employment in trades which are directly linked to it. Just a few meters away from Toy Market, Elizabeth Acheng runs her small business. She relies entirely on customers who visit the market and are in need to have their purchases repaired or made to fit.
A buyer who finds her clothes are big, I adjust them to make them fit. Those that find the clothes short, I add some material. If it's small or big, I equally adjust. I also change men's clothes, both new or repair of the second hand, or I can also mend torn collars.
Nearly all of the clothes in the second-hand garment trade are donated to charity organizations in countries such as Canada, UK and the USA. And those who donated them are not aware that their clothes are sold to second-hand merchants and later shipped to African countries. The friendly prices and the hope to find brands which are expensive at home also attract foreigners searching for a bargain, be it for an evening dress or just for a Halloween costume.
Thank you. I was here one time 4 months ago, I think. Everyone just says this is a good place to go to find lots of cheap clothing.
So there's definitely filling a need here. So if we're looking for certain things and this is the only place to find them, of course people are going to come. But it is probably distortive to a certain extent that containers are showing up in Mombasa and flooding the market with these kinds of clothes. You know, people are able to get clothes for a good price, so that's good. And of course the sellers are making money off of it.
I like coming here because the things, the clothes, everything is cheaper than everywhere else. And even I like the quality as well. The quality is very good. That's why I come here.
As these foreigners shop at the Toy Market Nairobi, global trade displays a rare sense of irony. Garments which were donated in the industrialized world to clothe poor Africans are brought by Western tourists and brought back to the area of origin.
Let's move on to sports. USIU RFC have won the university's title of the Impala Floodies after defeating favourites Strathmore University 30-20. In the main action of the day, an impressive KCB came back from 14 down at halftime to retain their Floodlights tournament title after seeing off resolution Impala Saracens 26-14.
After 2 weeks of hardcore rugby pitting top-tier teams in the country, it was time to separate the men from the boys as defending Floodies champions KCB sought to defend their crown, but in their ways to the informed resolution Impala Saracens. The Saris were quick to announce the intentions of going for the kill as they took a 7-0 lead through Apollo Imbo try and a Samuel H conversion. The defending champions, however, cut the deficit to 4 through Darwin Mukiza's penalty. Moments later, Impala doubled their lead to 14-3. 2 penalties from Darwin Mukiza and an Eli Mukaizi try cut Impala's lead to 1 point in a 14-13 scoreline at the break. Darwin Mukiza continued to star, converting a penalty to give KCB a 16-13 lead. The Bankers' attack kept firing as Andrew Amonde sank in 2 tries to ensure the Floodies trophy was safe in the hands of the Bankers with a 26-13 win.
It had too much pressure, especially in the beginning, but we knew they can't bring it to us for 80 minutes. There was a time even us we had to start dishing out, and when we started dishing out, they couldn't handle it. I'm saying, even if they could have gone 50 points ahead, we could have come back and won that game 51-50. That one I had hopes in.
I think we held up for a lot of the game, but it just happens that, you know, as the game wears on, the weight began to show.
Give them penalties, we were knocking on. That was our main undoing.
USIU bagged the university's gong as Laser Hill clinched the high school title. Darwin Mukiza was named the man of the match. From 14-3 down to a 26-13 win, KCB Rugby Club have once again demonstrated why they are the kings of the Floodies for the 3rd year running. Robinson Okenye, KTN Sports.
Well, thank you very much for watching The Weekend at 1. I will be back at the top of the hour, 2 o'clock Kenyan time. My name is Najma Ismail.